Hello, beautiful souls. This is Teresa Coutman with the tarot guidance for today. The energy report will come out later. It doesn't post until 10 a.m. hopefully. Yesterday it was 3, and the site still did not update, so it's still saying it is the 5th on their website. So they did update the chart though, so we did have that yesterday, but after 3. So yesterday I felt really jagged and the energy. And then when I seen the chart, I was like, okay, it just, feels like little daggers, the little ones that start off. So this pink line at 9-6 is the day. So it usually goes from 10 to 10, but when they're late, sometimes they just throw on the little bits of energy. So this goes to about 3 o'clock yesterday, that specific time. And you can see that little jagged edges are before 10 a.m. So right early in the morning hours. Not real early morning, but you see all the calm we had most of the night. Integrating. We had calm 9-5, fairly calm, and then we get this, around what 7? Yeah, 7 a.m. starts these daggers, and then throughout the afternoon we get these longer sword things. So that is how it wasn't the worst type of energy, but I felt like things were out of my control and they weren't going as planned. But I didn't feel like breaking my computer or anything like that. Yeah, we have those days. Everybody has those days. Okay, so just thought I'd go over that energy with you. And then also, there's our today's draw. I'm going to go to the monthly really quick, since this is going to be like kind of like a weekly overview also. So the theme of this month, this was September's draw. So the theme of the month was 8 of Pentacles. And the lesson learned, the Hanged Woman. The challenge this month would be the 9 of Swords. Hey, we had some swords yesterday. Challenging. And the gift was the Page of Pentacles. Outcome or the direction for the month is the Queen of Cups. And the hidden force is the 7 of Swords. And the card for the week was the Wheel of Fortune. Or is. This is the last day of this wheel turning, so it was really interesting all throughout the week. The fates kept coming up in different positions. The fate card, which is the Wheel of Fortune in Liz Houston's deck. So that was kind of interesting. So, but let's get on to today's guidance, which will be from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. Kind of, it's a before the energy is reported kind of thing. So I'm trying to line it up with the Schumann report, which comes out 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. So with 24 hours. Okay, so we'll turn off that to the draw, and but I need a better camera. So with my with my daily readings today, I took it and I sharpened it up, for the photograph. So that was helpful. Getting into all the video editing that people need to do to clean things up. I'm going to have to do more of that. I did some clipping yesterday, which, okay, with those little swords, it was very frustrating to have to do that, but I'm going to have to do it little by little, get into learning that. So I'm using Shortcut. I don't know if anybody else out there has any experience with that, but it seems better than OpenShot. I mean, OpenShot just seems more complex. So maybe one's better than the other, but for a beginner, that's what I'm using. And it's free. I'm not paying anything at this point in time. So the strength card is our root. And this is a foundational card. Our root chakra is the collective. I keep explaining the collective has a body, like the church. It's described in the Bible. We all have different parts to play. That's the collective. And we have forces that are they even use things like our own religion, our own spirituality against us. So for power and money. So the root of all evil is money. Money isn't the root of all evil. Resources aren't evil. It's the love of them and the hoarding of them and the just, oh, I got to get the most of them. I got to be a zillionaire to be the best on top kind of thing. And not using them for any projects or betterment and getting them in unethical ways that should not be tolerated in our culture, but it is rewarded by the stock market. But that whole system hopefully is going to fall away as we go into the new earth and new things. I'm very excited about new things, the new earth, where we're going. So this is the foundational inner strength. This is sometimes how we're feeling our security, and it's really tough to get around these root issues that we have, from our traumas when we were younger, especially if they were so young you can't even really remember them, but your body, if you've ever been through any kind of trauma training and things like that or school, our body doesn't forget. So the foundations are inner strength, and the strength calls for strength, courage, and gentle mastery of self. And we can see how this woman, she's coming out of the egg with the serpent. And kind of like some biblical stuff here, right? That you have this serpent that's so much stronger than you and smarter than you, cunning, and you're with them in this egg, and you're coming out with him. But she's not fighting, she's not struggling, she's keeping her mouth shut. Because that's one thing I find that when I'm in kind of, if you're in like legal contention or something like that, I blurt it all out. Like, look how bad, you should never do that. Zip it. Because then they can't prepare their case against you for what, because then they know, okay, here's the evidence, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, not brute force, but calm presence that tames the storm. So this is a new deck for me. So I'm always discovering new aspects to this deck. And the thing of it is, there's just so much. I wish they were brighter cards, or clearer and thicker. But that's just the quality sometimes that you get. These are all printed by the same people, but like the Crow deck is very high quality. And this deck isn't so much. The other deck that I use, the Tattoo Tarot, they're big, but they aren't as well coded as that Crow deck. That Crow deck is very limited in its interpretation. It's just very simple. Yes, maybe crows are simple, clever, but on a simple level. Anyway, so with this card, I didn't notice that she actually has a key in her hand. If you look at the card, you can see that she has a key in her hand. So maybe that's why she's not struggling. Her bracelet on. Anyway, she has a key. And I thought that was really interesting because this is the lunar eclipse in Pisces, and they're calling it a portal, keyhole portal gate. So that's interesting. And I've been working on a meditation, a hypnosis for attracting those things in that we need while letting go of all those other things. So working on that meditation, and so this was like perfect card, and it was just surprised me. I was like really happy about it. As today, September 7th, the lunar eclipse in Pisces, a keyhole portal. Only what is essential can pass through it, like the keyhole, the eye, the needle that Jesus talks about in the parable. And then they're like, well, if people with money, rich people can't pass through it, who can? Who will get through it? Because I don't think they were all as dirt poor as we're led to believe, but and people need wealth and materials to live. So the point was he was making that all things are possible with God, and our spirit self and our spirit body, our light body, has none of these needs, has no it's a spirit. The light body, it can get through that needle, it can get through this portal. And I think this portal allows us to go visit and maybe shift some things in our lives. Some people call them a timeline shift. So we'll see how that works out through this portal. And if anything happens this week, it'll be really, awesome. If there is a showing in the energy that there is a timeline shift. So, so that's the strength card. I better get that back tinier. Tinier. Okay. So, the current vibration is the Six of Swords. And this does not look good. This indicates movement away from turbulence, seeking calmer waters from yesterday's jagged edges. Collective energy wants transition, a mental shift, a release from that restlessness that we saw yesterday. And the challenge is going to be the Knight of Cups. And the challenge is emotional clarity and sincerity. So those are a challenge for a lot of people in everyday life and dealing with people at work and, even themselves thinking of things through. And we should ask ourselves, are we acting from our genuine heart space? Or are we drifting into illusion and romantic escape? And then the outlook is the Knight of Pentacles. Slow, steady progress, practical focus. The outlook is persistence, patience, and showing up even when tired. And that yesterday, I just had to take a nap, but we can't be too hard on ourselves. I wanted to get out this the keyhole meditation and stuff, but in writing the script and getting it all set up, I'm like, phew, I can just do that tomorrow. But I have to realize too, I can't be too hard on myself because I've just put all these things on my plate, and I have to learn how to do the videos, and I have to learn this and that. So that I didn't know before. I had, some inkling and had it on my computer and messed around with it before, but never went into production mode where I had to do something every day. So I'm really pushing myself to learn. So I really like the energy that is out there right now. It's pushing people into places that they might not have thought they were going to go, or they didn't think they had that in them, that persistence and that resilience to keep going. So I'm very pleased with myself in doing that, and I hope you're doing the same. And I want to encourage everybody else out there to show in your heart space and show it as your authentic self. And we need more people to do that, because I can remember like when I first started watching YouTube, and it's harder for me to even find these people. There's this woman who did her tarot readings, and she had like this bright red lipstick on, and she was, a hillbilly and living in a trailer park. And it was like, trailer park tarot readings. And I just thought she was so funny and so witty. And I just loved her. And then, then they got lost in this overproduced kind of space. So it looks like most of my views are coming from BitChute. So that's no surprise. It's like an alternative place. I went there during all the censorship and during the COVID years. So, and there was some really funny stuff there. So anyway, I get more views there. I'm on Rumble. I'm going to present Rumble as more like a calmer voice because there's a lot of male energy over there on Rumble. Whew, lots. All gaming and, angry news. And even the women there, have that model of I'm going to be the same, same way. And, it's always the prettiest wins kind of thing. And that should not be. So, and I have some older voices that I like, and I'll try to share them as I go because there's a lot of wisdom. Not every old person is wise, but even if they're not wise, they can tell you some stuff like you don't want to do that. They're a good example of a bad example kind of thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles. So showing up even when you're tired. But when you're tired, do not get on this cliff like he is. You might sprain your ankle, twist your ankle, but do show up and do what you can and show up for yourself. because this helps build your own resilience when you know, okay, I can show up even when tired. So the hidden card is the Lovers. It's an interesting looking card. So behind it all, you can see the little stuff in her dress. There is choice and alignment. We can choose to be aligned to our real true selves in our heart space. We can choose that. The collective energy is asking each and every one of us, are we moving in harmony with our values, or are we pulled in directions that fragment us? So the clarifiers today are the Eight of Swords from the Crow deck and the Eight of Pentacles from the Tattoo deck. It's very interesting. I didn't go much into the eights here. Maybe I'll do that in the energy review. So the Eight of Swords shows mental entrapment, the feeling of being bound or limited. And I felt that yesterday too, bound and limited by my own lack of skill in some of the programs, being bound and limited by, being dependent on other people for information, like that energy report. It comes out of Russia and then goes to Italian people and then to us. So that I did feel that yesterday. But the Eight of Pentacles offers the key. And the Eight of Pentacles, again, was the theme of September. And it, together they say liberation comes not from force, but from showing up, doing the work, and realigning with skill and care. Okay, I'm back. I had to stop for a minute. So, yeah, together, the clarifiers for today is liberation comes not from force, but from showing up, doing the work, and realigning skill and care. So I'm working on my skills and doing the video editing and things like that. And I did also this day, I made my image sharper. So that was yesterday's draw. So today's draw looks way better. I just did a filter in GIMP, and it fixed everything fairly well. Looks way better than this. So with that, we from day to day. So yesterday, the spread gave us the 7 and the 9s. That was a theme. The fates, testing integrity. So the fates was in the outlook. Yesterday was the fates. So then we had testing our integrity and resilience and balancing during jagged energies. So the Schumann field reflected that edginess in its last update. So we've seen that chart here, jagged energy. So that was reflected in this card. So then we have today's strength and Six of Swords. Shows the next step, moving through the jaggedness with calm strength and finding the quieter waters beyond. Where yesterday asked us to withstand with resistance, today asks us to shift the current gently but decisively. So, so we also have a need to create sacred spaces. And I'm into dreams. You don't know. I like dream interpretation. I've been doing it for years. And I dream a lot. And I do have a prophetic gift. When I learned about it, I learned that it was it's a long story. I learned that it's a church gift. It's for the body. So it's prophetic, intuitive, hearing God's or source's voice, things like that. So that with those sacred spaces we need and dreams. So last night I went to sleep and I usually dream something like ancient civilizations, things like that. Ancient aliens gets really old, and I've seen them so many times, but they do have some ancient discoveries and civilizations and really interesting things. And then I had a dream last night in that it started streaming while I was dreaming, a dream time. So my dream time, it's trying to make sense of what was streaming, and what was streaming was Downtown Abbey. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't ask for this. But they do watch period pieces, but that is just too much. Anyway, so my dream was all tied in with that. So I'm like, that really was a crap dream then. But I wasted my dream time on that. So, but it did teach me that I need to create sacred space, um, because the Eight of Swords energy is where outside influences are going to tangle in with the subconscious. So it was a perfect example of that happening. The Eight of Pentacles here is an invitation to build a sacred dream space. A simple ritual, intentional input before bed, protection around your psychic field. One of the things you should also do too in this is like in that ritual is to remind your subconscious that people in your life have to show up as themselves. So it won't use people in your dream as, it won't confuse you. Oh, is this about my family? Is this about them? Kind of thing. So that's worked very well for me. People hardly ever show up in my dreams. And when they do, then I know, oh, I'm going to talk to them about this dream because this matters. So I had some really nice dreams about riding around with my cousin, and we held onto hands, and we just had a really good visit. So I really think I visited her in dream time. It was really good, and I told her about it. It was like really interesting. So with that, so we have the keyhole portal today, which I talked about with the strength card with her, that key in the hand, and we have everything we need, to escape the clutches of, the snake and the trappings of the world, and be more clear about who we are and why we're here, and our focus and our legacy. So strength plus the lovers, echo the eclipse energy, choosing alignment with courage, stepping through that portal, stepping through that gate with integrity. Six of Swords, Knights show movement. We're actively crossing a threshold. So the invitation, okay, to do that today, I'm going to do a video. I wanted to do it like really, really great, but I'm just going to have to get through it with the script that I have and say this is going to have to be good enough. Those things, it's going to be good enough. Okay. So I'll be doing a week ahead video too. So maybe a recap of this week and a week ahead using the September's draw. So that's going to be today also. Boy, I'm going to be busy today. How's your day going? Are you going to be busy? I know a lot of people have religious things they do today. They go to church or mosque or wherever they go. If I were going to do that again, I'd want to do it if I'm going to follow the rules or, that kind of ritual. It seems like Saturday's a good day, 6th day, if you go by the Christian Bible. Anyway, but that was an open kind of rebellion to following the rules. But Jesus said those rules don't really matter. It's a whole Calvinistic thing. Yep. So my beliefs on religion are very, even though they're rooted in Christian culture, and I had a born again experience and all that kind of stuff, I would be considered a lefty heretic. Just look at me reading these tarot cards. Okay, so I did have a really Good affirmation, but I don't know. I can't find it in my notes. But we do need to, move into this energy with strength. Oh, here it is. Okay. My affirmation today, the meditation, is to move today, move through the day, calm, strength. We can do this. Deep breaths. I can move from the jagged waters, choppy waters that were yesterday. And I move into clarity, calm. I choose alignment. I show up with light and devotion to my path, what is right. I do this with strength. I create sacred space for my dreams, guide me into my future. With that, I hope you have a great day, a great rest of the day, and I hope you can tune in for the update for the weekly and the update on the energy. It'll just be appended to the front of this. So when this comes on, this you can know, oh, I already watched that. And the weekly will be separate, and my meditation will be separate. So I hope to see you soon.